We're going to get weird tonight as we time trip somewhere between the abnormal and the paranormal. If you're new to the program, this is really a classic example of what our show tries to touch on. Each and every night that we are allowed to gather across the airwaves and beyond. Appreciate all the affiliates picking up the program, whether it's on the radio side or on the extraterrestrial side, the terrestrial and the extraterrestrial, as I call it. All right, talking with our guests tonight, Tim Swartz and Paul Dale Roberts. Tim, along with Sean Castile, has co-authored the book Weird Time, Exploring the Mysteries of Time and Space. And Paul Dale Roberts has contributed some of the content, and we're here tonight talking with them exactly what is this all about. It sounds like there is some manipulation of timelines here, especially when people are remembering things differently. It goes back to what I was talking about earlier. It's really hitting home this week in my household, where I had a conversation with my wife. Hey, I remember him from Sandlot, because that was my childhood growing up. Others remember him from other movies, Darth Vader and whatnot, James Earl Jones. But the thought that he had died many, many years ago, of course, people have done the same with Nelson Mandela, and the list goes on and on. We remember things differently. The question is, where's this information coming from?
Yeah, Paul, do you want to take that first?
That's a really good question. I mean, there could be various alternate realities, a multiverse, and maybe you did a time slip or a reality slip into a place where Mandela was killed, and then you come back and you realize, no, he didn't die, he's still alive. So it could be some type of a mental time slip. One of the things I find really fascinating with Weird Time is one of the things that Tim wrote about, the Loch Ness Monster. Okay, people see this creature, this cryptid, and possibly the Loch Ness Monster could be a dinosaur from the past, and it does a time slip into our present time, and we see it at Loch Ness. Bigfoot. It could be biblical giants from the past, or it could be Neanderthal men. And we're seeing the past, and we're seeing Bigfoot, and then we don't see it anymore. Tim really highlights this in the book, and it's very well possibly can be. There's stories that I've heard right here. I'm in Sacramento, but up in the Sierras, where people have seen a saber-toothed tiger, and then it seems like it just vanishes. So the saber-toothed tiger possibly came from the past.
That's a good thing. Yeah. I would want the thing to vanish as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you real quick here. My own Mandela effect. And this is a situation now. Yeah, it could have just been a mistaken news story that I read, but I was positive that I read that the actor Harvey Fierstein had passed away from throat cancer. And for a few years, I thought that this had actually happened until, no, he wasn't. He was very much alive, doing musicals and things like that. So, what happened? I mean, I wonder if...
We'll have more Tim Swartz and Paul Dale Roberts as we'll continue our conversation after news across the airwaves, somewhere between the paranormal and the abnormal. I'm Jeremy Scott. Into the paranormal.
If you're worried about losing your health insurance through Medicaid, we have great news for you. New government regulations have expanded the Affordable Care Act, and now you may qualify to get health insurance for you and your family.
All right, guys, we're going to break. How we doing?
Hey, doing great.
Yeah. Real good.
I hope we're answering your questions the way that you wanted to.
Well, I mean, to the best of your ability, and I really appreciate that. There's a lot of gray area here, obviously, but no, you're doing a great job. Fits definitely right in with all the kinds of things that we talk about. So we'll have 2 more segments here, and we'll be done before the top of the hour.
All right, great.
Sounds
Fantastic.
good.
Appreciate it. Anything else you guys specifically want to promote or talk about? Otherwise, I'll just continue to wing my way through this.
Nope, I mean, weird time is what we're pushing right now. So
Exactly.
All right, we can have the website a few more times. Sounds good. Thank you.
Celebrate Mass with 50,000 people at the National Stadium on Thursday evening. It's the final stop in a 12-day Asia-Pacific tour that has seen the 87-year-old travel to Indonesia, Timor-Leste, and Papua New Guinea. Laura Westbrook reports.
Pope Francis is the second pope to visit Singapore after the late John Paul II in 1986. Singapore counts around 210,000 people as Catholics, 7% of its population. The highlight of the Pope's trip is a mass at Singapore's National Stadium, where crowds will include Hong Kong Catholics. He is expected to focus on interfaith dialogue and will also address political authorities. This trip has been closely followed by China, where the Pope in recent months has restated his desire to visit, and so will be closely watched to see what overtures he will make.
U.S. inflation continued to cool last month, according to new figures from the Labor Department. The Consumer Price Index increased 0.2% in August, in line with expectations, with market watchers optimistic a rate cut will be on the cards later this month. Sally Patterson reports from New York.
U.S. consumer prices continue to rise.